applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to Picks and Parlays Radio here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. I'm your host, Nick Geber, in for Chelsea Messenger. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd, or as they say here in Las Vegas, it's Tuesday, October 22nd. Well, we've got a big show for you today. Quite frankly, it's Grand Central Station here in the studio. We're going to cover some college football with El Tigre himself, Tony T, along with Ali Burns. We're going to cover USC at Colorado, Wisconsin at Ohio State, Penn State at Michigan State, and then, well, the Duff man cometh. That's right. Joe Duffy will be joining us. Redskins at Vikings, Seahawks at Falcons, Panthers at Niners, and finally, Craig Trapp and Tony Bandwagon Brown will be joining us in studio for a discussion of some NBA as the NBA gets ready to tip off here. So much sports going on, you just can't keep track of it all, but you can keep track of this show because we're streaming live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. If you want to put in hashtag Parlay Radio, it'll come up on our Twitter discussion. And if you want to comment on anything you see on any of our social media, please do, because we'll see it and we'll put it up on the screen and we'll do our very best to bring up your comment during the show. Once again, we are on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. This is where we are every weekday from 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. That's Monday through Friday if you don't know what weekday means, but I think you do. Speaking of weekdays, good Lord, what an absolute snooze fest this match was yesterday. This game was yesterday between the Patriots and the Jets. You know, if it wasn't for sports betting, who in their right mind would have tuned into that shellacking, boring game? And that's why we love it, right? Because lots of people had money riding on what would otherwise have been something that you just would have rather have watched, say, Fox News or MSNBC, depending on what your political bent is. All right, once again, find us on our social media. And of course, if you like what you're hearing from any of our handicappers here on the show, you can always find loads of free picks on our website at picksandparlays.net. And when you're ready, you can kick it up a notch and go for our expert picks. Speaking of which, NBA season tipping off. What better time to have a $100 off special on our handicappers picks, expert picks for the NBA all the way through the playoffs. $5.99 for one capper. If you want two, a two for $7.99. Great deal. Go to picksandparlays.net. All right, coming up, college football with El Tigre himself, Tony Tellez. Don't go anywhere. Be right back in 3 minutes.
In charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. And we give you this toy monkey, which will bang its cymbals when the right resume appears. Okay, there is no monkey. I said there is no monkey! But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call
That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
When is a notebook more than a notebook? When it takes me from creative writing
to traveling the world to report my next story. Staples is your back-to-school destination. Find all the supplies and inspiration you need. Come in store this week for our 97-cent deals. Staples 4-pack glue sticks, Crayola 12-pack colored pencils, and our exclusive bonus pack of Crayola broad-tip markers, all just 97 cents each. Staples, back to school and beyond. In-store only. Offer ends 8/31/19. Limit 30 on Crayola markers and colored pencils while supplies last.
Well, you're back with us here on Picks and Parlays Radio. I'm your host, Nick Geber, and promised you before the break that we would bring in some college football and bring in our resident expert handicapper, Tony Tellez. But we're going to do one up. We're going to bring in two more people into the show. Not only do we have Tony Tellez, but we have Ali Burns. So let's go, guys. Let's talk some college football. Are we ready to rock and roll? Ali, you ready to go?
I'm born ready to go.
Tony?
I'm ready.
All right, gentlemen, lady, let's go. Let's start. USC at Colorado. University of Spoiled Children going to Colorado. USC 4-3, coming off a 41-14 win over Arizona. And Colorado, though, 3-4, crushed, murdered by Washington State, 41-10. USC -11 with the total 63. USC is 4-2 against the spread in the last 6. The under has cashed in 4 of the Trojans' last 5. Tony, let's start with you.
Yeah, I'm going to look here at a total play here. I'm going to go over the total here of a 63 or 62. That number is floating around there. You can find the teams that played over in their past meeting in Colorado. But, you know, the Buffalo's defense I'm concerned about. They've just gotten worse and worse in the Pac-12 play. Even in week 1, they're giving up 31 points to Colorado State. I wasn't that impressed with that D. And, of course, look at their past 3 games. 35 at home to Arizona, 45 to Oregon, and last week 41 to Washington State. You know, in those defeats, the Buffaloes gave up an average of 503 yards, 154 yards rushing, but 5.5 yards a carry. USC has the offense to exploit this bad Buffaloes defense. As we know, with their air raid offense, they can make some plays downfield, as well as their really talented wide receivers, and they can run the football. And one thing with Colorado is their offense performs a little better at home with that senior quarterback, Steven Montez, more comfortable there. And, of course, USC is prone to giving up points. I like the over in this one.
All right, Ali, any thoughts on this one?
You know, last week I was looking at Colorado at 9.5. I didn't take it. I waited in game right out of the gate. WSU scores, and that number jumps to plus 20.5. I jumped on that, and it did not cash. 20.5 plus the 10 points that they scored was still not enough to cover. I am totally over Colorado. I was willing to accept the loss against the Ducks because they're the Ducks. But after losing this way to WSU, there's no way I'm going near this game, especially if I'm not getting at least 2 touchdowns for it. So I got to say USC Trojans minus 13.5 is the only way I would take this game.
All right. Ali, what's next on the agenda?
All right, well, let's have some Big Ten action. Tony T, I want to talk about Wisconsin at Ohio State. Wisconsin's coming off the first loss of their season. It was an ugly one in the 4th quarter to Illinois, and the Buckeyes remain undefeated. Their quarterback, Justin Fields, is insane. 22 touchdowns with only 1 interception. He dropped 4 of those on Northwestern last week. What do you think? Are the Badgers and 14.5 points going to be enough to cover against Penn State or Ohio State?
I don't think so. I'm going to take here the home team, Ohio State, here laying the 14 or the hook if you can find a 14.5 out there. You know, they're just rolling through this Big Ten schedule. And, you know, what I find here with this Ohio State team is I just don't think these teams in the Big Ten can really match the speed of the Buckeyes. Wisconsin also falls under that category. I mean, look at their offense here, 527 yards a game, defensively holding teams at 229. And, they do have a capable running back, Jonathan Taylor, but, you look at Doan as a quarterback, when you look at the game against Michigan, not a whole lot downfield, and that's what I'm concerned about, is the arm strength downfield against this really good Buckeyes secondary. And, of course, the Buckeyes can handle the run and pass. We've seen how well they played. They went in Northwestern, blew them out. And one thing about Ohio State is, J.K. Dobbins can run the football. He's averaging over 7 yards a carry, but his backup is averaging over 7 yards a carry as well. So, I think just a little too much firepower here from this Ohio State team. I have no problems laying the 2 touchdowns.
All right, so Tony T is laying the 2 touchdowns. I totally agree. We're on the right side of 14 with this, and nobody likes an angry Badger.
That's so
All right,
true.
Nick.
Well, what about an angry? We have to say, what about an angry lion? No one likes an angry lion either. Let's go to our next game, number 6, Penn State at Michigan State. Penn State 7-0, 4-3 against the spread. They won 7 straight, tied for 10th in scoring in all of college football. Michigan State are 4-3, 2-5 against the spread. They lost to Wisconsin 38-0. That's almost a Patriots Jets score right there. But on average, they only give up 21 points per game. Penn State 7-1 straight up in their last 8 on the road. Penn State is also 1-5 straight up in their last 6 games, though, against Michigan State. Kind of conflicting numbers there. Tony, what say you?
Yeah, I'm looking here at Penn State -6 in this one. I have to respect their result at Iowa. That's a game that the world was on Iowa on, and they were able to come up with a 17-12 win against the Hawkeyes. I respect that road win. They're now 7-0, and of course they went into Maryland, blew out Maryland. But Nittany Lions balanced attack, averaging 411 yards a game, and Clifford, he's completing 66% of his passes. Very efficient quarterback there. But boy, Michigan State, what a disappointment. 4-3 home losses to Arizona State, and then back-to-back losses, blowout loss at Ohio State, Wisconsin. You got to wonder about this Michigan State program now. We expect them to bounce back. This was everyone's bounce-back team, was Michigan State. But look at the quarterback, Lewerke. Only 52% completion rate against the Big Ten. Come on, you're a senior. These are freshman numbers you're putting up. So I'm really disappointed with Lewerke's numbers. He's healthy. There's no more excuses about the shoulder. Now I'm done with this with Michigan State here. I'm definitely going to lay the points with Penn State.
All right, Allie, any thoughts on this one?
When Penn State joined the Big Ten back in 1993, Michigan State was declared their permanent rivals. And we all know what can happen in these rivalry types of matchups where an underdog can totally put another team on upset alert. I don't see it happening here. Sean Clifford, he's only a sophomore, and he's already putting up 16 touchdowns with only 2 interceptions. I'm all over the Nittany Lions here.
All over the Nittany Lions. So there you go. All right, Allie, good job. Finally, let's do a little bonus here. Let's do a World Series. Come on, let's give us some Game 1 action, Tony.
All right, well, we talked the World Series here. I mean, again, I like the under in this game. I know we talked about this earlier. It was under 7. If you get 7, I like that play. I mean, listen, look at the pitching matchups here. I mean, you're looking at Scherzer, 35% strikeout rate, Garrett Cole, 40% strikeout rate. Both the pitchers under a whip of under 1 in the postseason, which means not a lot of base runners. They can get out of jams, not a lot of big innings. And these are 2 pitchers that can go deep into games here, at least 7+ innings. And, of course, the bullpen's all rested here. Of course, Nationals with the sweep. But, one thing worries me about the Nationals hitters is they couldn't hit Walker Buehler, a top-flight pitcher. Now they're going to be facing another top-flight pitcher here in Garrett Cole.
Yeah, it's interesting. We talk about momentum. I'm just wondering, how you feel. And I know, I think it's Sean Higgs. It's Deshaun Higgs, I think, is the, or maybe it's the Duffmeister, is the guy that's the expert on like breaks and momentum. But it's Duffmeister, right? Yeah, Duffy. But, the Nats, I mean, this is a team, look, that at some point in the season, they were, 12 games under 500? Then they go on this incredible run, and they get into the World Series early. Now they have a really, really long layoff before they're going to face the Astros. And I just wonder if that's really going to hurt the momentum for them. We just got a couple minutes. Tony, let's get your take on that.
I think it hurts them a little bit more with the hitting. That's definitely something for sure. The timing. And of course, we know now that these organized activities, they organize their time between the games with these simulated games. You have prospects pitching at 90+ miles per hour against them, but it's not the same because they just don't have the movement. They can't simulate the opponent they're facing. So yeah, I think it hurts definitely at the plate.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, momentum for me is like the biggest part of sports because sports is all emotion. Look, if you look at sports objectively from any type of objective angle, it's silly, right? I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah,
it's all emotion, it's all passion. That's what makes it happen, and that's why you can get a team that was 12 games under 500 sweeping their way basically into the World Series, and that's why we love it. Ali, you looking forward to this game?
I'm from Houston. I've got future bets on both of these teams. I'm sitting on the Nationals at plus 170. I'm sitting on Houston at plus 210. I'm ready. Let's play baseball, guys. Go Astros. Go Houston. Let's do this thing.
Ali, hedging your bets. I like that. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this segment. Coming up, the Duff Man himself, Joe Duffy. We're going to cover a little NFL football for you here on Picks and Parlays. By the way, just a reminder, special right now for the NBA season. We have a $100 off package for you on our website, picksandparlays.net. One handicapper, $5.99, but you want two handicappers. Let's double it. You'd think it will be a lot more. No, it's only $7.99. That, my friends, is value. Kick up your betting this NBA season. Take advantage of our special offer. You can find it on the website, picksandparlays.net. All right, we're going to step aside. We'll be right back. By the way, Francisco Almendarez Carrillo writes us on Facebook, Go Astros! Well, we're going to go, though. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Stay with us.
Stock market investor? Well, then you know these three key words: buy, sell, hold. Those three magic words can make or lose you money in the stock market. What if we can show you a time-tested tool that's been helping stock market investors succeed for over 30 years? It's called VectorVest, an amazing system designed to make smart investing easy. The VectorVest system analyzes, sorts, and ranks over 19,000 stocks every day and tells you when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell any stock to maximize your profits in less than 10 minutes a day. And if you call right now, you can test drive our amazing VectorVest system risk-free for 30 days for just $9.95.
800-584-2519. 800-584-2519. 800-584-2519. That's 800-584-2519.
This is an urgent health notice for all residents suffering from back, neck, knee, and wrist pain. You may qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you, but the deadline is fast approaching. Simply call the Health Alert Hotline now.
You heard right. You may qualify for a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace. These items may even be covered by Medicare or your private insurance. The Health Alert Hotline is your brace company. These specialized braces have been tested for pain relief. Call us toll-free right now to determine your eligibility and to learn how to use your private insurance or Medicare to minimize your out-of-pocket cost. Don't wait. If the deadline passes, you may lose your opportunity to get a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace at little or no cost to you.
800-430-9571. 800-430-9571. 800-430-9571. That's 800-430-9571.
Do you owe $10,000 or more on at least 2 federal student loans? Then you may qualify for new programs offered by the Department of Education. These programs can reduce your interest, lower your payments, and possibly qualify you for loan forgiveness. If you have $10,000 or more and at least 2 federal student loans and currently not in school, you may qualify for one of these programs. Call now to check your eligibility. Student loan advisors are standing by to help you determine if you qualify for these new programs. They can help you reduce your interest, lower your payment, and even forgive a portion of your student loan debt. Take control of your financial future. Make this free 5-minute free call now to Nationwide Student Loans and learn how you can reduce your student loan debt.
800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays Radio on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. By the way, this is a great moment to welcome in all of the men and women in uniform who are listening to this show on the American Forces Network from around the world. We welcome you to the show. I'm your host, in for Chelsea Messenger. I'm Nick Geber. You can find me on Twitter at Nick Geber. By the way, if you love soccer, particularly the Premier League or the Champions League, you want to catch my show on Sirius XM 211, Dan Patrick Sports, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. That's every day on Sirius 211, 5th Street Soccer. Break it all down for you. In the meantime, though, let's talk about the fake football, the one that's not really played with its feet. Let's talk about NFL, shall we? And joining me on the guest line, our expert resident handicapper, the Duff Man himself, Joe Duffy. Joe, we got 3 good ones to get to today. Hopefully not like last night's game, which was ridiculous.
It was quite ugly. And, Nick, I've defended European football. I've defended soccer for years and years and years. Everyone talks about it here in the States. It's not like American football. I say you can love both. So both of them are great sports.
No, you can indeed. And in point of fact, the NFL doing very well right now in England. We've seen all these matches at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And I believe we just had another one this last weekend. Or we do have another one coming up this weekend, I think. Or did we just have it? Anyway, I'm crazy. The Rams this week. Yeah, that's right. All right, well, Joe, let's get to it, shall we? Shall we start with Vikings at Redskins? Is it Vikings at Redskins?
Yes. No,
it is.
Redskins at the Vikings.
Redskins at Vikings. That's what I thought. When I wrote that down, I thought, that's backwards. Redskins at Vikings. The Redskins are 1-6, 2-5 against the spread. I saw this. They're only the second team in the past 25 years to cover the spread without scoring a point. That is, I don't know if that's a great statistic or a bad one. I'm not sure. The Vikings are 5-2 and 5-2 against the spread. They had a convincing win over the Lions last week. They opened as 14-point home favorites, but that's now jumped to 16. I believe it's Vikings minus 16, the total 42. Duffmeister, take it away.
And that is the precise line that I do have, Nick. Got a lot of conflicting stuff here. Going with the much worse spread team, and that's in terms of margin of cover. Some people like to use it. Sweat barometer is 171, 105, and 11. That's not surprising because every sport other than college football is the number one momentum sport. Every other sport is regression to the mean. And I found that especially pro basketball and pro football, and it makes sense. They're playing at the highest level. So these teams, they've got the ability to bounce back. Plus, more importantly than that, the public loves to overreact. The odds makers know that. And in fact, when a team is coming off of a shutout and they're the worst spread team, they are 7-1, and road underdogs off a shutout do very well, 45-27. However, just when you think I'm going to go with the big underdog, my computer tells me basically big favorites to bad teams in games expected to be very low scoring. And on Thursday, perfect 13-0. And as a general rule of thumb, short weeks, it benefits the better team. The public likes to bet mismatches. Well, they love Thursday, should love Thursday night games, because when you do have big mismatches, the short week does benefit the better team and makes perfect sense. Because the better team usually going to have a little more depth, and it'll be a lot easier for them to get up for a game on a short week. But all in all, I can make an argument for either side. That's not going to be my free play in this one.
All right, that won't be your free play. All right, there we go. Redskins at Vikings. Let's move along to the next one. The Seahawks at Falcons. The Seahawks 5-2, 3-4 against the spread, coming off a loss 30-16 to the Ravens. The Falcons 1-6 against the spread. Big trouble after losing to the Rams 37-10. Here's the question: is Dan Quinn dead man walking?
Yes, no question. In fact, the Falcons do have a bye week after this week. He'll be unemployed on Monday. Maybe he'll be co-hosting with you.
So here's a question for you though. What, in European football, we call this the sack race, right? What are the odds on the next manager or coach getting sacked? Is there such a thing in NFL? And what are the odds on him making it through the weekend?
Yeah, the sports books do have the ability. You can bet on who the next coach is. I don't know if any sports book out there has specific odds on if Dan Quinn will most definitely be fired before the game after this, if he'll be fired during the bye week or not. but you can most definitely bet on coaches that are going to be fired. And I would say very likely somewhere out there, one of those offshore sports books probably does have the ability to bet on Dan Quinn. And by the way, I wanted to misunderstand. My pick for that first game is going to be under 7.5 in the first quarter. What I meant was I was not going to make a pick on the side, was not going to be my free pick, but I did have a free pick on that game. But yeah, Dan Quinn, I would be shocked if he's got 2 games left in him as the Falcons head coach.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I mean, what's gone wrong at the Falcons, in your opinion? I mean, look, they got great ownership. Big new stadium. Money's not really an issue. What's the problem?
No, they definitely have. Arthur Blank is a very dedicated owner. That's the $1 million question. I think it might be a case where maybe everything just went together a couple years ago when they did go into go to the Super Bowl and the famous 28-3 loss. In fact, it looks like the Falcons are starting to concede. They already traded Mohamed Sanu earlier today, so I think the Falcons are starting to give up on the year. But maybe it's a case where, look, Matt Ryan is a very good quarterback. The year they went to the Super Bowl, he looked like he was one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the game. I think that, he's probably maybe 5 or 6. Julio Jones, tremendous wide receiver. He used to be so-so in the red zone. He's gotten a little bit better in the red zone, but I just think, it was just a perfect storm a couple years ago. Look, everybody was saying maybe it was Shanahan. Shanahan was the greatest offensive coordinator ever. People forget the year before the Falcons went to the Super Bowl, people were talking about Kyle Shanahan getting fired as offensive coordinator. So I don't think it's that. I just think it was a perfect storm a couple years. And Vic Beasley is turned out to be a one-year wonder.
If I'm not mistaken, it was also a new stadium issue. I think they just moved into the Mercedes-Benz Stadium that year as well, and or maybe the year before. But oftentimes teams get a new stadium bounce, unless, of course, you're Tottenham, in which case you don't get that. But beautiful stadium, Mercedes-Benz Stadium right there in Atlanta. Very quickly, Matt Ryan, he went off. He has a boot. Went off injured last game. Has a boot on his foot. Is he playing, or is he injured, or is he playing? Yeah. What do you?
No, they said he has not been ruled out. That's why this game is off of the board in most areas. I do see Seattle 3.5, 54 somewhere, but just about everywhere it's off the board in no small part because of Matt Ryan. I think, especially with the trading of Sanu, that unless they are certain that he has no chance at re-injuring himself, I wouldn't be surprised if they go with Matt Schaub, but that has not been determined. But yeah, I do think that Sanu trade really kind of tells us that maybe it's a Tankapalooza time for the Falcons.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go. Next up, Panthers at 49ers. The Panthers are 4-2. 4-2 against the spread as well, coming off a bye week. The 49ers 6-0 with Janine Garofalo just doing a great job there as quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo, great job there. 4-2 against the spread. They're the only undefeated team in the NFC after a 9-0 win over the Redskins. Interesting number there. I got the 49ers minus 5.5, total 41.5. What do you have on this one?
Yeah, it was a gully washer. I was watching that game. I was at a sports bar, as I usually am, and that game was played in a downpour. Yeah, Garoppolo is interesting. I mean, all the 49ers do is win with him. His numbers really haven't been that spectacular this year. He's turned the ball over a little bit too much. The truth is, San Francisco, you might say they're analogous to Minnesota in college football. They've had a pretty easy schedule. According to one metric, the 49ers have had the easiest schedule in the NFC this year, so you might argue that it's a little bit of a deceptive record, but they are leading the league in margin of covering by an average of 12.7 points per game. Carolina's very good, but, as good as San Fran is, when you look at their numbers, they're getting 0.2 yards per rush and 0.5 yards per pass attempt above what their opponents normally allow, and they're holding teams to a little bit below their normal average on defense, but not much. In fact, they allow 4.1 yards per carry. The team's normally getting 3.9. Their more advanced numbers imply that they're really not an undefeated team. Those numbers are good, but not for a 6-0 team. I think it's clear Carolina is better with Kyle Allen. Also fading teams that gave up a combined 15 points or less over their last 3 games combined, 16-6-1. I look for Carolina to certainly cover. And if you want me to, pick an upset of the week, this would qualify as an upset of the week. I think the Panthers are at least something to look at on the money line.
What is the money line right now for the Panthers?
I would have to look at it. It's probably about 210, maybe something like that. I would I would have to look and see.
Ooh, I love a good money line upset. That's the way to go. Finally get some value out of it. But so you think the Panthers might actually go to San Francisco and do a number on the 49ers? Because you're telling me that with a 6-0 record, the only undefeated team in the NFC, that in point of fact, they're lucky to be there. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. No, they definitely are. Like I said, both their strength. No, I am one of these people that says that you are what your record says you are, but still, the strength of schedule has been rated the worst, I think, according to CBS Power Ratings. And I like to look at not only the yards per rush, but fortunately, there's a website out there where you can compare it to the cumulative average of their opponents. And those numbers suggest that San Fran is above average, but they're not dominant. And like I said, Carolina's clear. The Cam Newton of the MVP years, he's long gone. They've been better. Carolina's been a better team without him, and I do think that Carolina is going to pull off the upset.
All right, so Carolina going to pull off the upset. You heard it right here from the Duff Man, the Duffmeister, Joe Duffy himself, giving us his picks. And if you want more of his picks, you can find them at picksandparlays.net. There's loads of free picks, and when you're ready to kick it up a notch, of course, our expert picks are there for you. And as I mentioned, NBA season in full effect. We have a special $100 off the NBA expert picks all the way through the playoffs. It's $5.99 for one capper, $7.99 for two. Picksandparlays.net. Joe, thanks a lot. We'll speak to you later this week. Cheers. Coming up, we're going to have Craig Trapp and Tony Bandwagon Brown join me here in the studio to talk NBA.
At 28, I had struggled with opiate and meth addiction for 12 years. I did and said things that the sober me never would have done. One day I realized I was not invincible. I was not exempt. And that's when a friend told me about elite rehab placement. They gave me the tools I needed to get sober, and all it took was the one phone call.
Elite Rehab can help you start to break your addiction problem and get sober in as little as 7 days. And we'll work with your insurance provider to help cover the costs. Plus, we have travel assistance programs to get you here by plane or train. Make this free call right now to learn more. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. That's 800-403-5912.
Fall is here, and with the leaves changing, it may feel like you're running out of time to get any lingering home projects done before the holidays. Luckily, Home Advisor can give you a hand so you can spend more time watching football and less time doing home projects. From minor repairs to major remodels, Home Advisor will connect you with top-rated pros in your area. The pros have been reviewed by your neighbors, so you can see what others thought of their work. And if you're not sure how much your project should cost, get multiple quotes from pros and use Home Advisor's Project Cost Guide to see what others paid for similar projects. And to top all of it off, you can book appointments online, no more phone tag. So whether it's remodeling the den for football season or fixing up the house before the holidays, Home Advisor makes it beyond easy to get your home projects done. To find the right pro at a fair price, just ask Home Advisor. Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free award-winning Home Advisor app today.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number, 800-603-0885, 800-603-0885, 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
And and welcome back to the show. This is Picks and Parlays Radio on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. I'm Nick Geber in for Chelsea Messenger. And if you're watching us on YouTube, well, you can see that we are full at the broadcast desk here. And if you're listening to us, you're going to hear that we have I have two guests today for this segment. I have, of course, El Guapo himself, Craig Trapp, and very pleased to welcome to the show for the very, very first time, our expert handicapper, Tony Bandwagon Brown, joins us live in Las Vegas at our studios for some NBA coverage. Gentlemen, NBA underway, I think, today, actually, and I think everybody's very excited. Are you ready? Are you ready for the NBA, Craig?
Always. I think the NBA is the best sport as far as gambling is concerned. It goes 6 months. It's every day. And it starts tonight. 2 games tonight, but we're going to be covering 3. I think maybe the best 3 games for Wednesday night.
All right. Well, I think we got Bandwagon over there. He's quiet, but he's gonna pipe up here shortly. Why don't we start with Celtic at Sixers? Celtics, they lost Kyrie Irving and Al Horford, but you know what? They added Kemba Walker and softened the blow a little bit. 76ers just came up short for a trip to the Eastern Conference Finals last season. Can they do it again this year? Why don't we start over there? Let's Bandwagon. You're up.
Right. I'm anything but a bandwagon. First of all, Lakers, Raiders, Dodgers for life. So he's just joking with you.
But your life's been so short up to this point. What are you, 2 years old?
Anyway, I like the home team in this one all over it. These guys were a game away from the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, Kyrie Irving is gone for Boston now. Al Horford is gone. Kemba Walker's a big addition, but he's no Kyrie Irving. I mean, that was an internal problem as far as skills and talent. Boston is lacking now, so I like Philly to pick up where they left off. They just got beat by a great shot and the champions, and I think they pick up where they left off and complete their journey this time and make it to the finals.
Oh, I think it's one of those addition by subtraction, I think, in Boston. I just think, obviously, the Terry Rozier and Kyrie Irving rumors that they didn't get along and it separated the team. They were a mess all season long. I mean, they were one of those teams when they played their best, they could beat anybody, but when they didn't play the best, they could lose to anybody and did lose to anybody and were no match for the Milwaukee Bucks. I think the Celtics had to blow it up. They did, but I love what they did. I love the big 3, and I think right now you have to get the big 3. Everybody kind of does. Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, I think, are a very solid 3. Al Horford was an overpaid big guy that didn't give them – he gave them some in big games, but I just on a day-in, night-out basis, I just think you take the Boston Celtics with the points here. It's one of those games. I think you play Boston Celtics money line, actually, or you play the 76ers with the points because either Boston puts it all together or they get blown out. So I like this Sixers team. I just think losing J.J. Redick is a big loss. And I think you're going to see that tonight, the lack of shooting.
Well, I got 76ers -5. The Celtics are 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 games overall. Of course, we're talking pre-season.
It goes back to last year.
It goes back to last season, right. 76ers are 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 games. But, of course, you've got to throw a lot of these things out the window because these are largely different teams now. But we'll see what happens. So you are going with which side on this one?
We're opposing. Tony likes the Sixers -5. I'm take the Celtics. I actually think money line. But, if you want the points, I wouldn't argue with you on that one. Obviously Sixers second favorite team to win the East. So, but the Celtics I think are 3rd or 4th. So, I mean, this is going to be a quality matchup. It's the featured early game if you're watching and tuning in.
So you're on opposite sides, guys. I love consensus. How are we going to settle it? Arm wrestling?
Yeah. I just think that Kyrie Irving, that loss is going to be too big for Boston. Kemba Walker's a subpar superstar. He's like a 1A superstar. He makes them a big 3 like Chris Bosh made Dwayne Wade and LeBron James a big 3. These guys are subpar superstars, and we're going to see Philly with a big dominant win at home.
All right, I like that. He may be a bandwagoner, but he is confident.
He's on the favorite here. Yeah. Just make a point. He's on the favorite.
All right. Let's go Denver at Portland. Portland, the problem for Portland that I'm looking at here is that they got a lot of players out. Pau Gasol's still not recovered from surgery. Hassan Whiteside is questionable. Yusuf Nurkic is out till January. Yusuf, excuse me. My pronunciation is very poor. Guys, let's start with you, Craig. Nuggets at Blazers.
Well, what matters for them is their big 3, and really the big 2, Jokic and Jamal Murray, and then Paul Millsap. They went out and paid him big again, and keeping him I think is a big thing against the big 2 of Portland, both Damian Lillard and McCollum. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm going to take the road team, Denver, here. I think Denver could possibly, you could argue that they're the second best team in the West right now, because I know Tony's a Lakers fan, but I am withhold judgment for the Lakers until they can prove me they can shoot outside and make outside shots.
Oh, you're just butthurt over LeBron James.
I don't like LeBron. We all know that. I don't like LeBron.
Let's be
true.
Right.
But I will bet LeBron if I think he's going to win. But I just say in this one, I just think they're the second best team in the West. I think they prove it here. I think Denver is a very, very good team. Portland is one of those middle of the pack teams. I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets, or get the 1 point here. I just think they win outright and start off a very I think what could be a big season for Denver.
By the way, Square 707 Steam PS4 says on YouTube, ask us who we take, Clippers or Lakers, and I can actually tell you, go to the website because we did that game yesterday. By the way, Sean Higgs says, gotta love LT Gray and the Plus Money Honey at Parlay Radio, talking about Ali Burns. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. All right, guys, so Paul Millsap, any relation to Ronnie Millsap? That's the question. Probably not, I would imagine.
I'm guessing Tony doesn't know who Ronnie Millsap is.
No,
a little bit before my time.
I don't think so either. Well, that didn't sound good, whatever that was, but that's all fine. All right.
All right, we're good.
Did you give us your side on that bandwagon?
No, not yet. I'm actually on the opposite side again, of course. This game, Craig is right. Denver was the second best team in the NBA. They have 54 wins. They were right behind Golden State. But guess who was third? Portland with 53 wins. So they're just a game better. This game is a toss-up. I wouldn't call Portland a middle-of-the-road team. They were a game worse than Denver. And I think this was going to come down to the home crowd and experience, to be honest with you. Djokovic and Denver, they were surprising teams last year. Not a lot of people gave them enough credit, and they took teams by surprise. Now everybody knows who they are. People are going to be hunting for them. So we're going to see how it goes from being the prey to the predator. And I think that McCollum and Lillard, just too much experience over there. They're title bound or bust this year. They're almost going to be ready to break up a team and do some stuff. They've been together for a while, and they got the team they need. They're at home. It's opening night. It's just a 1 point spread, so it's pretty much a pick 'em, and I'm picking Portland at home.
Well, I think the question here also could be the total. I think this one could be a lot of points. I mean, both of these teams like to get it up and down, like to shoot a lot of threes. Jokic is an absolute nightmare for anybody to guard. I don't see anybody in Portland being able to guard them. I just really think that's the key in this one. If it's a high-scoring game, I think it should be really fun to watch. This is, I think, the key late game. I think this one's on national television. So this is going to be a good game. I think if you like points, you're going to like this game. Like I said, we're opposing on the side, but I think you like probably the over two in this one.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, these guys are going to light it up, and it's opening night too. So defense is going to be at a minimum, and they're going to try to put on a show for the home crowd in the opening night.
So loads of points. Did you say Prey to Predator? Isn't that the name of an Arnold Schwarzenegger film? And if it wasn't, it certainly should be.
Well, at least it's Predator.
Right, it's halfway home.
All right, let's go to the next one, shall we? Kings at Suns. Now, for me, when I'm looking at this, I mean, this is really an acid test for the Suns and Monty Williams. They've going through a rebuilding process. This is a big test for them. How do you guys see this one? Kings at Suns. Let's start with bandwagon. You're on.
I got to go with Kings at home for sure. I mean, besides the Knicks, nobody lost more games than Phoenix last year. They only had 19 wins on the whole season. So, I mean, I don't think they improved that much. And the Kings, they picked up Barnes from Golden State. That's a big addition. You got the veteran leadership and the championship experience. So they were just one slot out of the playoffs. They finished 9th in the West. So I think that they're going to take care of business at home. However, I like the total more in this game, the over. Both of these teams play defense like it's optional. The Suns, they got Booker out there. He scored 71 alone. I think this one's going to get lit up, and we get well into 240, 250 All-Star game territory.
Wow. Really?
Yes, sir.
Well, I think that, you talk about the Kings. I mean, Buddy Hield, Fox, Barnes, with the big midseason trade, I think it was actually from Dallas last year they got him, which, of course, before that he was with Golden State. And, I love Harrison Barnes, but he's one of those guys that was never what he got paid. Still probably getting way overpaid. But I love Buddy Hield. He just signed to the big contract. I think he's going to put up a big number here. I think Kings win this game, but I think I'm with Tony here. I think the over's the play here. I mean, this Suns team plays no defense. Devin Booker is like, I'm going to score 50, but I'm going to give up 60. So I think Ricky Rubio, a nice addition there for Devin Booker. I think he's going to get a ton of shots. DeAndre Ayton, I think, was a little disappointing last year after the #1 pick, of course, a season ago. I kind of thought he was going to be way better, but, I think this is the problem with the NBA right now. It's the centerless NBA. Dwight Howard, I think that's why he's maybe an issue with the Lakers is who do these big guys guard now when you basically play 5 around the 3-point line nowadays? And I think that's a problem. I think this one goes way over, but if I was going to play the side, I would play the Sacramento Kings here. I think the Kings could be one of those teams. I think Tony probably agreed that is when you look at their roster, they're one of those teams that definitely could be fighting for that 6, 7, and 8 spot in the West, which I'm not convinced that the West is way better as it has been in years past.
I disagree with you on that. I mean, I think they're going to fight for the spot. I totally agree on that, but I think the West is a lot better. I mean, we got Russell Westbrook on the Rockets. We got Anthony Davis with LeBron James. I mean, the West is stacked. The championship's going to come out of the West.
Kawhi, Milwaukee, thank goodness. Milwaukee. It's about time someone in the West actually won things.
Right. I mean, what Kawhi did in Toronto was amazing, man, over there. But I think the championships comes back to the West, to America, period. And
yeah, well, that's a given.
Right. The West is stacked.
To America. Good job. I think we'll all agree on that one. That's an incredible.
I mean, when LeBron James misses the playoffs, the title leaves America.
Okay. Right. Well, Toronto is 100-1, so you can just say they're not winning it this year. Gotcha. No one's ever won like that. But my point is the East. I thought the East is way better this year. I think Boston, I think Philly, I do think the Bucks, I think, are still a top 3 team in the league. And then I just think like Atlanta, I think there was a lot of those middle teams last year that weren't very good in the East have all improved. I think the Pelicans in the West aren't very, I mean, I think there's 3 or 4 like easy win teams in the West now, and that is used to be in the East. So that's what I say. I just think the Warriors aren't as good. I think the Lakers and Clippers are going to have issues. They just had so much. I think the Kings are one of those teams because they have a lot of returning parts that could take advantage of a more well-balanced West. Maybe that's a better way to say it.
Well, it's been pretty good, though. I mean, they've certainly been an excellent team, and they're just really getting kind of better, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but they're bringing up the rear. It was funny when Kevin Durant had his radio show, he was interviewing C.J. McCollum, and they were talking about championships, and he was like, well, I'm talking about the real teams and the teams that have a shot. Even if Sacramento approved, what do they go from 9 to 7? So it's like
well, you got to get to to me you got to get to 4 or 5 because you got to avoid the best 3 or 4 teams in the West usually. Although, like I said, I think the Clippers, Lakers, Rockets, and Warriors, Denver, and Portland are the top 6 teams. But you can knock one of those out, and then if you get to that 5 spot, then you have a chance. You're not beating probably the top 3 teams. Doesn't usually happen.
Right. The games aren't played on paper. This is why they play them on the court.
Well, that's why, as I keep saying on this show, sports the ultimate reality show because it's one hopes it's unscripted. Of course, there may be some NBA refs that are feeling otherwise, but let's just say unscripted reality. You get it right here. All right, the other thing you can get right here at picksandparlays.net is these gentlemen right here. You want their picks? We've got loads of free picks right on the site for you to help you with your sports betting Jones. To increase your profitability, so to speak. But if you really want to kick it up a notch, especially with NBA season in full effect, I recommend you get our expert handicappers picks. Craig, it's $100 off, right? You're the guy that made that decision.
Off. Yeah, it was all me. So
why
me.
Why all of a sudden so generous?
$5.99 for one capper. You go to any of the cappers pages. You can go under the drop down, see the leaderboards, who did what the last 5 years actually in the NBA. See who you like. Also, if you want underneath the premium picks drop down, click on the 2-for-1. $100 off. It's only $7.99 for your favorite 2 cappers.
All right, there you go. $7.99 for the 2-for. Definitely great deal. Want to take advantage of that. All right, you also want to take advantage of this show because we give away loads and loads of free picks on this show. You get to actually see and hear and interact with our handicappers. So if you missed any of it, though, I'll recap everything when we come back after the break. Once again, I'm Nick Geber. This is Picks and Parlays Radio, and we'll be right back in 3 minutes.
Do you have a problem hearing the television? Do you need to crank up the volume so loud your family is screaming at you? Then put on your TV ears. TV Ears has helped millions of people just like you hear TV loud and clear without cranking up the volume. For about $60 for the 30-day free trial, you can get your own set of TV Ears. When you wear TV Ears, you can mute the TV volume for private listening or let others watch TV with you. Order in the next 10 minutes and take us up on our 30-day home trial and very special price. TV Ears is a brand hearing professionals have trusted for more than 20 years. And through this special radio offer, you can get your very own for just $60. Just mention promo code RADIO. So put on your TV ears and make everyone happy. 800-984-4207. 800-984-4207. 800-984-4207. That's 800-984-4207.
Money Now 100 is not a lender, broker, or agent of any lender or financial advisor. We do not make loans or credit decisions. You must be 18 years or older and a U.S. resident to qualify. This is not an offer or solicitation to lend. I went to MoneyNow100.com and got the $5,000 I needed deposited in my account the next business day. If you need money for any reason, help is here. Go to MoneyNow100.com and get the money you need. Need to pay off credit card debt? Go to MoneyNow100.com. Need your car repaired? Need home improvement money? Visit MoneyNow100.com. If you need fast cash for any reason, go to MoneyNow100.com. Good, bad, or no credit at all. Go to MoneyNow100.com. You could get up to $5,000 as soon as the next business day. Go to MoneyNow100.com on your phone, tablet, or computer. Type in the address bar MoneyNow100.com. That's MoneyNow100.com. Attention business owners. Now is the perfect time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. We can give you packages with up to 90 great channels and save your business a ton of cash. And if you call right now, you can learn how to get free equipment and free installation. Now you have choices. It's time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. And call today and get 90 channels plus free equipment and free installation. Smart business owners like you all across the country are consolidating and saving money on their cable TV, internet, and phone service for their business. So now's the perfect time. This may be a limited time offer to the first 100 people that call right now. So please save money and call now.
800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. That's 800-470-7113.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays Radio. I'm your host, Nick Geber. Find me on Twitter. I'm at Nick Geber. See, I like to make it easy for you. Because if you're going to write something down, want to make sure what you're going to write down are our free picks we gave away today. So let's get to it. As promised, we've had a lot of picks today, so let's recap them for you. Starting with Tony El Tigre Tellez, his college football picks. USC at Colorado. Hope USC get a bad case of salmonella poisoning before the game, but he's saying take the over 62. Wisconsin at Ohio State. Take Ohio State minus 14. And the Nittany Lions at Michigan State take the Lions minus 6. Then, hustling right along, we've got the Duff man himself, Joe Duffy. His NFL picks. Redskins at Vikings. Take the Redskins under 7.5 in the first quarter. And I believe he has other picks up on the site at picksandparlays.net. Seahawks at Falcons. Take Seattle minus 3.5. And Panthers at 49ers. Take Carolina plus 5.5. That's 5.5. Let's move right along. We had Craig Trapp and we had Tony Bandwagon Brown, but these were the consensus picks here. Nuggets at Blazers. Take the Nuggets plus 1. Celtics at 76ers. Take the Celtics plus 5. And for the Kings at the Suns, well, they're predicting more scoring than at Lamar Odom's birthday party in Las Vegas. Take the over 232 on that one. That's right, over 232 for the Kings at Suns. Those are our NBA picks. And just a reminder, NBA is here. We're going to have loads more NBA on the show for you, of course, along with all of our picks. But if you missed any of them or you want more of them, and I know you do, go to the website, picksandparlays.net. Loads and loads and loads of free picks. And, of course, our expert picks. And as Craig mentioned, with the NBA season tipping off today, our special. $100 off. $5.99 one cappers, $7.99 two cappers. Go right now, sign up. And be sure to tune in tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, right here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. We'll be back tomorrow with loads more on Picks and Parlays Radio. Until then, bet, win, repeat.